Welcome back to this month's edition of Raidercast, always covering your campus and community news right here on Duo County Channel 2 at 12:30 and 7. I'm Brittany Bennett. We'll start off this month with two events that are happening right here on our LWC campus. Last month, we discussed that the freshmen here on campus were creating boxes of essential needs for all the local Adair County children. Here's more.
In the past few years, Freshman Year Experience has partnered with Operation Christmas Child in order to fulfill the service learning aspect of Freshman Seminar. However, this year, Freshman Seminar classes participated in a local service project called OSFA, better known as One Size Fits All, which partnered FYE with the Adair County Primary Learning Center by providing children in the local area with food, school supplies, and other items they may not receive so easily anywhere else. Both students and professors partnered up to pack these items into shoeboxes to be distributed to local children. And based on these reactions, it seems pretty apparent that all those who worked toward blessing these kids and their families did one heck of a job, proving once more that volunteer service truly is one size fits all.
What a great way for LWC to get involved in the Columbia community. Candy, costumes, and treats, oh my. The residents here on campus just celebrated another successful year of safe Halloween with all the local kids of Adair County. Here's an inside look of the spooky night.
Halloween, a time for friends, family, fun, and most importantly, candy. Every year, Lindsey Wilson's Residence Life sponsors the Safe Halloween, a community event designed to give kids lots of treats and fun, and parents peace of mind knowing their kids are in a safe environment. Both kids of age and kids at heart had a swell time, proving you're never too old for delicious treats, ridiculous costumes, and good old-fashioned holiday fun. For Raidercast, I'm Kelly Berry.
It definitely looks like everybody had a good time. You don't want to miss this month's edition of Breaking Nerd with Stephen Harris coming right up after this break, so stay tuned.
Now you can go faster with Duo County Telecom broadband internet. We have increased our internet speeds to give you 4 meg and 8 meg options. This makes it easier for everyone in your family to stream video, play games, and surf the internet all at the same time. New broadband customers get 1 month free with free installation. Are you already a Duo broadband customer? Upgrade to a faster internet plan and we'll give you 1 month free. Call today to switch or upgrade. Visit duocounty.com for details. Restrictions apply. Credit qualification for certain promotions.
Thanks so much for staying with us. I'm sure you all are ready for your daily dose of nerd. I'll turn you all over to Mr. Stephen Harris.
So as you may have noticed by now, I put on a lot of weight for Thanksgiving. I drank a lot of beer, ate a lot of turkey.
It's time for Breaking Nerd.
Now that we're back and settled down here in the studio, we're obviously going to talk about the new Thor movie which just came out. Now, obviously, I have a giant Thor hammer, which means I kind of maybe sort of have a passing interest / love affair with the character. Very excited to see this movie. Honestly, I kind of went in with low expectations because of how awful Iron Man 3 was. I was not really expecting this to be a good movie at all. However, came out of that theater with this gigantic smile on my face. Like, just even thinking about it makes me happy to even think about. The entire, principal cast is back. You have Hemsworth back, Hiddleston back, Hopkins, Portman, Elba. The original cast is back with a newcomer, Christopher Eccleston from Doctor Who fame as the Makalith, the Dark Elf villain, a very seldom used character in Marvel Comics. The movie's just great. Like, it's a new director, so it doesn't have the weird tilted camera that Kenneth Branagh had. It's a lot more down to earth. It's a lot more. You can tell that like the director used to be the showrunner on Game of Thrones. Like, it's a lot more gritty and a lot more dirty and Viking-esque in a way. In fact, like, it's a weird cross between like Lord of the Rings and Star Wars in some points. Like, you have that high fantasy, but yet you have like spaceships and laser beams. But It seems like a weird combination, but you kind of go with it. It makes sense. In fact, I like this better than J.J. Abrams' Star Trek from earlier this year. Bold statement, I know, but still, just personal opinion. Hemsworth just owns the character. I mean, he is Thor down to his very fiber of his being. He's perfect. Hiddleston as Loki steals the show. Just absolutely, I don't say adorable because it'd be kind of weird, but it's fun to watch him do. He owns it. You can see his love of being a sly, manipulative villain, and it comes across. This is probably the best Marvel film to date. I've seen it like 2 to 3 times now because it's just that much fun. It's honestly the Empire Strikes Back of like the Marvel universe so far. Like it literally almost beat for beat, it's the same thing as Empire Strikes Back. You have a hopeless situation. You have your hero get injured. Someone even loses a hand. Like, I mean, how much more like Empire Strikes Back can you get? In fact, it sets up the third chapter so perfectly. Like, how can you not deny the fact that you want to see a third movie after this? I mean, they're going to get around to it eventually, but when it does, it's going to be awesome. But yeah, Thor 2, if you have any inkling at all, go see it. You will not regret it. Just fantastic. Now, speaking of sequels, this month also saw the sequel to the worldwide phenomena of The Hunger Games. Now, I'm not going to lie to you. I kind of really, really don't like The Hunger Games. I hate the books. I think they're childish dribble. I just broke a pen. That's how angry I get just thinking about this. I mean, I just don't enjoy it. In fact, the books themselves are so boring and plain. There's no depth there. And the first movie is just... It's boring. Like, despite my own horrible experience in that theater watching the first one, which is a whole nother story to begin with, but I just do not have fond memories of the Hunger Games the first time around. This time around, we would go see it. I was kind of bored, said why not. Honestly, I was surprised. In fact, I'd even say this is a good movie. I know, shocker, right? It's a good movie. The reason why it's better than the first film and even the books is because there's a certain level of maturity and respect for what's there. There's a weight situation. There is a hopeless... There's a sense of hopelessness that's in these characters that just weighs them down. Like, there's a public execution in the first, like, half hour of the movie. That's how dark it is. And it's amazing. It's fantastic. It takes a kid's book and makes it this dark, hopeless, just pit of despair. Like, you realize that this isn't some fruitful little kiddie, oh, we're gonna kill each other for food! No, it's a real thing. This is people killing each other to the death. This is nothing to be romanticized. It makes the Hunger Games seem less like a story and more like an actual, like, I don't know, I won't say threat, but adds a weight to it that's not there in the first one. It's less of a spectacle. It's more of a war, even. Once again, you have the main cast back, Jennifer Lawrence, the kid from Owensboro, whose name's escaping right now, Josh Hutcherson, there we go. Woody Harrelson's back, Donald Sutherland, main cast is back. And some new characters, of course, but they did a pretty good job. Like, in fact, everyone but the main characters did a good job. The supporting cast just carries the film by itself. Special effects were a lot better this time around. It didn't feel like a cheesy, 1990s Phantom Menace circa, special effects. It felt gritty, which is good. I'm not infatuated with Jennifer Lawrence like the rest of society seems to be, but I'm slowly coming around after this film. I enjoyed this movie. There's not much to say. I thought the ending felt a little flat, kind of tying back to the whole Empire Strikes Back theme. It does set up a third one, but not in the way that I care like Thor 2 did. I would definitely recommend seeing the film, even though I did not enjoy the first film at all. I do enjoy this one, and knowing the same director is coming back to do the third and kind of not really needed fourth film. I don't want to say I'm excited, but I'm hesitantly optimistic about it. So far, reviews have been positive, and that's good. And you're thinking to yourself, Steven, aren't you kind of a negative person? Well, you're right. And here comes a negative review. Despite being the media darling and the, racking in ratings left and right, I do not enjoy The Walking Dead on TV. Just absolutely cannot stand it. And I understand I'm in the minority. I've read the comic books. I remember being 9 or 10, being in the store and buying my first issue. I remember that. I remember meeting Robert Kirkman before he was just a no-name writer. I remember these things. And seeing it transform overnight to this huge phenomenon is a little weird, but for the most part, the show has been okay. Not the best, not the worst, just mediocre okay. However, this season has just been atrocious and awful. And it's kind of funny in a way, because The Walking Dead by itself is an independent comic book, which means it's only one artist, one writer, which they can do anything they want to. There's no editorial interference or no corporate meddling. Which is funny, because it means Kirkman, who created the show, writes the book, does whatever he wants to do with it. Which is funny, because over here, you have corporate Marvel DC comic books, where you have writers coming on and off books whenever they want. You can see corporate meddling and interference, and you see different people come on. And when different people come on, you can see changes in how the characters are written, how the book looks, how it is taken, how it's edited. You can just see the difference. And it's funny, because The Walking Dead show, even though it came from an independent comic book, it feels more like an editorially mandated comic book. Because every season you have a different showrunner, and every showrunner has a different way they want to tell this, giant epic about zombies and people living in a zombie-filled world. This season of The Walking Dead, I think, has been the weakest so far. You can tell the showrunner is different. This time last year, The Walking Dead might have been one of the best shows on TV. Like, literally, it might have been. At this point, it's done a complete 180 to being one of the worst shows on TV. The showrunner does not care about stories. He cares about gruesome zombie deaths. It's become less about the people and more about what disgusting stuff they can get away with on a week-to-week basis. There's no care for story progression or anything like that. And before we get defensive and all that, I understand there's been story progression. Yes, the governor came back for a 3-episode arc. Here's my response. So what? We all knew he was going to come back. You don't bring in a villain like that and just let him off easily. He's going to come back. It's just writing 101. You don't do that without expecting some kind of repercussion. Now here comes my biggest qualm about the show. The show tells its fans that we're different from the book. We have characters who aren't in the book. We do new stuff. We're just totally different from it. Well, not really. Because the new characters you've introduced, I don't care about. Like, I could not even care less about Daryl Dixon. He's a redneck of a crossbow. So what? I could care less if he dies. A super flu with pigs. I don't care. It's a pointless time filler. It's pointless. And the worst part of it is last night's episode, the mid-season finale, took a 6-month, emotionally crippling storyline and into a watering down 45-minute, made-for-TV movie. Like, one of the most iconic images in the book is the governor riding on a tank, yelling, "Kill them all!" And in a TV show, you get a little, "Hey, we need to talk." And then that becomes, "Hey, just kill them all." Like, it just shows that there's such a disconnect in the way they interpret material and how they handle it. It seems like they're interested in just borrowing stuff they think is cool, as opposed to telling their own story. They're worried about trying to have their cake and eat it too. And on a show like this, you can't do it. So hopefully the back half of Season 4 will get better. However, with the confirmed introduction of characters Abraham and Eugene, I don't see the show becoming its own entity anytime soon. Now, speaking of comic books and Marvel or DC, I feel the need to talk about this. I really don't usually do this, but if you're interested in comic books, just the slightest interest, go find a book called Infinity by Jonathan Hickman. Right now, Hickman's writing for Marvel. He's doing Avengers and New Avengers, and he's doing this Infinity book. And Infinity is like Star Wars on crack. I'm not even kidding. There's builders of the universe who've decided to come back and kill humanity and kill the entire so they can rebuild, and the Avengers feel the need to go stop them. I mean, it's full-on Twilight of the Gods. It's epic in scope. And it's been a long time since I read a comic book where it didn't feel like it was pandering to like a new audience. This feels like something that respects comic book readers as, readers first, as opposed to someone who just looks for the next, film ripoff. Like something to look forward to. They saw a film and want to read a book that kind of seems similar. This feels like a book that's meant for comic book readers who've been reading comic books for a long time. Like, Infinity by Jonathan Hickman is the best crossover I've probably ever read. So, if you're interested in comic books, go find it. It's awesome. And now, speaking of books, I have a very classy book to review. Ron Burgundy's autobiography, Let Me Off at the Top. What can I say? I mean, really, what can I say about this book? If you just open the book and read the first 5 pages, if you don't laugh, like literally out loud laugh, then put it down and never ever think about it again. Because you're going to be insulted and just think it's stupid. If you like the first Anchorman film, which is going to be a cult classic, you're going to love it. It's hilarious. Like, I don't actually laugh out loud at stuff because I think it's stupid and weird. I might just be stupid and weird. Who cares? But this book actually does make me laugh out loud. It's hilarious. It really is. I honestly hope Wolf ever wrote this because I can't imagine anyone else being that sick or perverse or like obnoxious and egotistical. It does fill me with hope though, because as you know, next month sees the return of Ron Burgundy to the silver screen in Anchorman 2. Now, continuing with the sequel theme we somehow have been using this episode, I'm hoping that Anchorman 2 is everything I ever wanted it to be. That being said, look forward to Anchorman 2. I also look forward to Martin Scorsese's Wolf of Wall Street, which looks like a crazy Great Gatsby meets American Psycho. That's about it. So, until next month, until next semester, in fact, this has been Stephen Harris. This is Breaking Nerd. Adios.
Thank you for that, Stephen. Blue Raider Sports continues to get more competitive as this semester progresses. Kelly Bear will tell you more right after our break, so stay with us.
It's a great time for fall photos. Upgrade your smartphone for the best camera and feature options. Duo County Telecom has the new Samsung Galaxy S4 loaded with features designed to simplify your daily life, including a 13-megapixel autofocus camera with flash. Renew today. We have the latest smartphones for you to choose from, including select smartphones for only 99 cents. Stop by one of our stores today and see the wide selection of affordable phones to keep your family in touch. Some restrictions apply. Duo County Telecom, an authorized agent of Bluegrass Cellular.
In an ironic twist of fate, both the men's and women's soccer teams were bounced from national competition in the semifinals by 1 point in overtime. The women's team lost to top-ranked Concordia University, while the men lost to Auburn University of Montgomery. Despite their title-defending season falling just short of the team's goal, the Lady Raiders have much to celebrate this season, capturing the Mid-South Conference tournament title, having 9 team members be selected to Mid-South Conference teams, 6 to the first team and 3 to the second, as well as 2 players, Katarina Simic and Sabrina Tom, named to the NAIA Scholar Athletes list. For the men's team, it was another tale of so close, yet so far away. Last year, this team fell in the NAIA championship game 1-0 to Belhaven University. This year, they were 1 win away from reaching the championship game, losing 2-1 to AUM. The men's team also had 2 players, Renan Seraphim and David Shaw, named to the NAIA Scholar Athletes list. But the men can't hang their heads either, winning 17 games on the season and capturing the Mid-South Conference regular season crown. To continue the theme of memorable seasons falling just short of team goals, the Lady Raider volleyball team had their year come to a premature close after a 3-1 loss to third-ranked Biola University in pool play. Despite not winning a national championship, the Lady Raiders have made many memories this season, including an undefeated regular season conference run, most wins in school history, and an extended stay in the national top 10. In addition to the accumulative success of the team, many individuals earned honors this season, including Kaylee Moorhead, who won the AVCA Southeast Region Player of the Year, as well as 3 recipients of the NAIA Scholar Athlete Award, Sarah Anderson, Emily Meeks, and Kaylee Moorhead. While many seasons have ended over the fall semester here at Lindsey Wilson, some are now in full swing, including the men's and women's basketball seasons. There were many gloom and doom prophets this year for the Lady Raiders basketball team who, after losing seniors Ashley Rainey, Casey Litzinger, and Stacy Jo Hill, were not expected to have any long-term success this season. But the Lady Raiders have surprisingly held their own, winning 9 of 10 games to start the season, including a win at 11th-ranked Shawnee State, a team that they had not beaten in their last 6 tries. This team's top 5 scorers, Jamie Cummings, Bree Elder, Chanel Roberts, Kayla Richardson, and Cassidy Martin, did not even play on this team a season ago, but have done a phenomenal job leading a bunch of new players for this year's Lady Raiders team. While the women's team has been a pleasant surprise, the men's team has been a surprising disappointment. After losing leaders like Kaylin Kimberland, Darren Ballou, and DeAndre Scott, it was not expected that this team would accomplish what they did a year ago, like winning a regular season Mid-South Conference title or going to the Fab Four in the NAIA tournament. However, when your team receives a preseason top 10 ranking, it becomes readily apparent that your team is expected to accomplish something. So far this season, this team has not done that. They've started this season 5-5. 3 of their losses have come against unranked opponents, including starting the season with a home loss 95-68 against unranked Salem International. Now you can use any cliche that you want to, like it's not how you start, it's how you finish. Or you can reference teams like Miami Heat, when LeBron came for the first year and they started 9-8 before going to the NBA Finals. You can reference those things and try and make a case that this team's season is not over. It's not over. They're just 10 games in. But while it's possible that they could turn this season around, their shaky start, their frustrating beginning to the 2013-2014 campaign, has left reporters such as myself wondering what we are really supposed to expect from a team that hasn't delivered on their expectations so far.
I hope you all have enjoyed this month's edition of Raidercast. Thank you all so much for joining us. We'll be here covering your campus and community news every Monday at 12:30 and 7 on Duo County Channel 2. I'm Brittany Bennett. Have a safe holiday break and have a great Monday.